Hello and welcome to This or That. My power went out at my house, so I had to come into the office here, brave the outside world. Welcome, James, though, for our first episode, starting off really smooth, honestly.
There's no better way for us to kick things off in the middle of the quarantine than for you to have to brave the outside world, make it into the studio for my very first This or That. But I got to tell you, Kobe, I'm super pumped. Also, weirdly, like a little nervous. First time I've been nervous for something in a while. What if I pick this when I'm supposed to pick that? This is a tough one.
I don't want to add to your stress right now, but Reddit is pretty fond of keeping track of who's correct and not, and adding it up and telling us at the end who's winning. So honestly, don't mess up. Let's get right into it.
Wink here to Reddit. Let's go.
Number one. It's blinking. What loses more solo queue games? Bad mechanics or bad mental? Honestly, it's got to be bad mental, right? I feel like almost every single game, I feel like somebody's tilting either on the enemy team in case you win, or on your team, and it's gonna be a
100% that. This is a team game, and so mental matters so much. But beyond that, very rarely do you see one person win or lose a game based on mechanics. But it's very easy to make the wrong decision in a game and throw it away entirely, or win one off of an intelligent play as well.
Definitely agree there. You should keep your stream running in case you do have that 1 in a million mechanics win, though, and you gotta clip it in.
Yeah.
And show
also,
your,
this is biased because I don't have mechanics, and the only way I do win games is mental. So,
all right, slide number 2. What do we got here? More satisfying winning 4v5. This actually plays very nicely off our last slide. If there's a mental problem,
that's true,
and you have to play a 4v5, is it actually that, or is it instant feedback report? And of course, my instant answer to this is instant feedback reports, because when you win a 4v5, you're like, oh, great, we won something we probably shouldn't have. But the instant feedback just feels so much more gratifying that justice delivered.
Okay, well, I'm instantly worried now that we're co-hosting this show together and we might align on everything always, because again, I 100% agree, but it's that for this reason. Winning a 4v5, I spend most of my time just angry at the reason that we're in a 4v5. Yes, it feels good to win. Sure, we did it, but I shouldn't have had to be in that position to begin with, right? And so ignoring that, having that instant feedback report, in fact, I got one just a couple weeks ago and it felt so good when you and your friends encounter some toxic, extremely toxic person, and to know that action is being taken against them. All right, two for two, Kobe.
You're doing really well. If your goal,
if I always pick the same thing as you, then the Reddit score doesn't matter.
That's a 5-head right there.
Yeah.
Who blames the jungler more? Top, mid, or AD carry? It depends on where you mess your gank up. You're gonna get the most blame.
Right.
I would say though, just like if you aggregate all the games, I rarely get blamed by mid. It's mostly top or bottom, because I play a lot around mid, or even if you're bottom, you can always go mid. But one of the two of top or bottom always feels left out. Like if you're focusing on dragons, then top laner's like, why aren't you coming for Rift Herald?
Right. So it's this, that, or the other thing. By the way, we have 3 options. First of all, but I'm with you. I don't feel it comes from mid a lot, but that's probably because as a jungler, I don't go mid very often, so I don't really have opportunities to screw that up for them. I would say that more often than not, it comes from the person who dies first, number one. But I would say that is typically the top laner. They're on an island, and top laners, they've got that propensity to die first and then immediately start hard flaming the jungler for the fact that they weren't there at level 2.5 to get to counter the cheese gank or something.
Plus, top laners can get screwed really hard if they're wave in this long lane. They're all by themselves,
right? So
they're already feeling super alone, defensive, isolated.
It gets bad fast if you're up there, so you're looking to blame someone.
So I agree with you. We're 3 for 3 now. It's gonna be this again. Next slide. Can we keep it going? Who would do better, me hosting or Dash casting?
All right.
Now,
can I go first here?
Okay, yeah.
And it might show a little bit of my ego, but I'm going to say it's me casting, and I'll tell you why. Because I've done it before, minimally, actually with Kobe at Twitch Rivals. And so while I would never argue that I am a good caster, I've actually done it minorly before, and I think I got by without anyone coming after me with pitchforks. But beyond that, I love you to death, Kobe, but I'm going to call out your ability to read the prompter. It might be the thing you are worst at, and that is maybe the most important skill for a host. And so hinging on that alone, I would say you would struggle.
See, that was going to be part of my answer. I was going to say, I could definitely be a really good host if one of two things happens. I spend a lot of time reading those long copy blocks that you have to read, because those are like, we don't have to read the super long ones. James has these like long scripts, word for word, that he goes through. Or we alter it for when I'm hosting. We don't have the super long blocks, and they're just like bullet point stuff. And then I could just talk to the people, and riff off everyone. I think that might work. We definitely have to make some adjustments to the style of
Kobe's,
hosting,
I think,
though.
okay. I feel that I would take it then that Kobe's ceiling might be higher than mine, because if you can just remove the crutch of the script or whatever and let him go, you're gonna get some incredible stuff. But from where we're at right now, I'm going with that. I'm going with myself here today, Kobe.
I'm gonna stick with Kobe hosting, because look at that photo edit that they've got
You look
here.
really good on my body. That's all I'm saying is your head on my body. It might be the
My head's a little big, but I like the look. I like the look. All right, next one.
All right.
We finally disagree. They only had to pit us against each other.
That's what it was. They knew what it was. All right, who would win a race? Hecarim or Rammus?
I think Rammus for sure. I've played a lot of games. Like, he just has a bigger speed boost. Plus, I feel like Rammus players just have a tendency to over-index on more speed because it's more fun with Powerball, getting mobility boots and stuff like that. So I'm going to say Rammus. I am super excited to play Hecarim, though, because they're buffing him on the patch that just came out today.
That's awesome to hear. I used to play a whole bunch of Hecarim, and I'd love to get back onto that horse. But I would probably go with Hecarim, specifically because he is a horse. 4 legs. We know, based on the way that the animal kingdom works here in reality, that typically quadrupeds, 4-legged creatures, move faster than others. And Rammus runs around on 2 feet. Now, if he actually chose to run around on 4, I would understand a bit. But Hecarim here, we know a horse can get up to like a 45 miles per hour, I think in actuality, a thoroughbred can for a pretty sustained period of time, about 2 miles. I'm going to go with Hecarim here, taking my thoroughbred racing history into account.
It was a really good speech. However, I got to bring up the fact that Rammus rolls. And once they invented the wheel, I mean, the horses could pull things.
You're right. The
wheels.
wheel is the most efficient thing in the history of the universe. All right. I'm going to, you know what? Leave it to Kobe to bring physics into the equation.
All right, I'm going with Rammus. Next slide.
Okay.
What we got?
This should be the last one, right?
Yeah. More desirable real life ultimate. Ooh, Chrono Shift. That's got to be great. Being able to.
That's
save
really
people's
tough.
lives. Or Chrono Break.
So the difference here, we're essentially asked, the difference is you can die and resurrect, or you can rewind time. But both essentially allow you to cheat death and cheat certain circumstances. But one, the idea of rewinding time, I think, is more valuable to me than just returning to that point of death, of life and death, right? So if I can
somebody's gonna have to kill
back,
you to get value out of Zillion Ult. If I Zillion Ult you and nothing happens to you, I mean,
It's true, and I'm thinking about all the creative ways I can use the time travel element of Echo, be it for financial gain or otherwise, right? And so I'm gonna go with Echo on this one. It's very interesting, kind of two similar equations, but I agree with you. I think Echoes just has more value at more time.
I'm gonna have to say that I think there's a little bit of a selfish pick here, James. Because
it is very well. Wait, no, it is. I'll admit that it was a very selfish angle, but let's not pretend that you can't use all of that for good and charity as well. Right?
I just also want to point out Zillion Ult. I'm going to use it to save my friends. Save other people. You cannot cast Chrono Break on other people.
I knew today. I always knew it, but today I confirmed that Kobe's a better human than I am. All right, I always knew it in my heart of hearts, but it's been confirmed today. Kobe's better than me.
Gotta say, I mean, honestly, the best part of this is that you did recognize it. So I think we're all winners here. I'm gonna stick with.
I'll take it.
I'll go with the zillion. I think that's the last slide because they usually have ended on the Mimi one.
There it is. Yeah.
It is indeed. All right, that's gonna do it for our first episode with James Patterson. Follow him on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, and
all the things, all the social medias, and you Redditors, make sure you call out who actually won.